daycare, and a relative, Carlito Acevedo Brito, stored a kilogram brick of fentanyl on top of children's playmats used at nap time. Mendez allegedly delayed calling 911, instead placing 3 other phone calls to cover up what happened. Prosecutors say her husband is seen on surveillance video carrying 2 full shopping bags out a back alley.
Police are still looking for the husband. This is ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Oh, we're halfway through the week already. Imagine that. Welcome in Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. We've got the council roundup after 7 o'clock. And it was a more than 3.5-hour meeting. A lot of it was zoning. We're not going to touch on any of that, but other conversation on the future of city water, light, and power, electric generation. You also had a lot of back and forth about grant dollars that Ward 2 Alderman Sean Gregory was looking to get, but a lot of discussion and some contentious discussion at times. So we'll get to that in the 7 o'clock hour. But up next, we've got a whole host of things to tackle. Everything from the latest in the Pretrial Fairness Act being implemented, yesterday's Supreme Court hearing about the firearm owner identification card and FOIA, but also we'll review recent conversations about lawsuits against Illinois' gun and magazine ban in state courts and those emergency rules that were filed by Illinois State Police. So stay tuned. That's next here with Springfield's Morning News. 6:04, I'm Greg Bishop.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Buckminster Fuller will be the topic of a presentation at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Museum on Thursday, beginning at 7 o'clock. Novelist and biographer Alec Navalali will examine the Southern Illinois University professor's body of work as a designer and futurist. Navalali will speak in the ALPLM Museum Plaza with a replica of Fuller's Dymaxion car in the background. The presentation is free, but registration is recommended. More information at WMAY.com. Breeze Airways announced yesterday that it will begin service from Springfield to Tampa and Orlando. The twice-weekly service begins December 1st with an introductory fare of $49 each way for tickets bought on or before September 25th. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. Older adults enrolled in the Illinois Department on Aging's Emergency Home Response Service will soon have the option to add fall detection technology, GPS monitoring, or both features to their medical alert device. The department made the announcement as part of an effort to raise awareness on preventing falls and reducing the risk of falls for older adults. The new technology can recognize falls when they happen and automatically notify a local support center. More information at WMAY.com. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
It's officially here. This week only, enjoy 50% off your purchase during our Friends and Family event at Banana Republic Factory. Explore limited time savings on the latest elevated styles online or at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Overcast today with highs around 80. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered rain showers likely. Lows level off around 64. Scattered thunderstorms likely. Tomorrow, high of 76. Cloudy. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Friday, with a chance for scattered rain showers. Saturday, highs in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 61.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Lauterbach Man here, proudly standing above my busy 7 bays on Wabash. The view from here is amazing. I've been looking at our wonderful city for decades upon decades. Many things have changed, but other things have not. We love Abe. We aren't shy about covering things in cheese, then adding toast, then cheese, then fries, then cheese, then, well, you know what I'm talking about. And the thing I'm most proud of, the thousands and thousands of cars that are driving safely thanks to our talented Lauterbach technicians. Cars going from the airport to the universities, from North Dirksen to South Veterans, crisscrossing from farmland to downtown, waving at tourists and trusted politicians. Abe. And if Abe were here today, he'd say, "Who's the tall guy?" And I'd say, "I'm Lauterbach Man, and I'm at your service." And if an imaginary Abe Lincoln driving a car can trust us, you can too. Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. Drive safely now.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
As we continue to wait for the outcome of the 7th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals on the challenge of Illinois' gun and magazine ban, we're seeing the pieces come together for, if the ban is upheld, the registration that is going to be required, or those who own certain firearms before January 10th could face criminal penalties. Welcome in Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. So on Monday, the same day they ended cash bail in Illinois, the Illinois State Police filed emergency rules which take effect immediately once they're in the Illinois Register, which I'm told will be coming up for their next publication through the Illinois Secretary of State's office. And those emergency rules filed by Illinois State Police spell out all kinds of stuff from which firearms are considered banned and need to be registered, and also who the exempt classes are that do not need to comply with the firearms registry. So if you look at some of the information there, the form that they're proposing through these emergency rules, it asks for your name, FOID card, your make, model of various firearms that you're essentially swearing that you have, but also a note there that you got to indicate you're providing the information voluntarily. And I think that there's a much more thorough conversation that needs to happen about the Fifth Amendment, and that's your right against self-incrimination. That's a charge against the law that has yet to be litigated. But again, while we're waiting for the Second Amendment challenge out of the U.S. Circuit Court for the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, that's the Second Amendment challenge. Down in the Southern District of Illinois, Attorney Thomas Magg has a case challenging the vagueness issues. He does say that he's prepared to bring Fifth Amendment charges if the vagueness issues don't result in a preliminary injunction against the law. And that's going to be heard in the Southern District October 11th. So we're looking forward to that date as well. But again, you've got another case in state court brought by Attorney Thomas DeVore that had previously been dismissed following the Illinois Supreme Court's ruling against a separate case from State Representative Dan Calkins. So that's where we're at in the status of these cases. But regardless of those still being undecided, you have the state police moving forward as prescribed by the Protect Illinois Communities Act, the ban on certain semi-automatic firearms that defines semi-automatic firearms as, quote, assault weapons. You have the Illinois State Police releasing their rules. Now, reviewing the rules, we had Todd Vandermeide on yesterday. Here's just a sampling of what he had to say concerning the rules. And in particular, who is and who is not impacted by these rules. So here's Todd from yesterday in our conversation about these emergency rules that were filed.
I think they just doubled down on what Tom DeVore has been arguing about is to, the equal protection claims that are within here. I don't think they thought this all the way through. Some of these exemptions, so if you're a National Guard guy, you're exempt all the performance of your duties. I mean, where in their right mind do the state police think they're going to go arrest a National Guard guy in general when he's on duty? They have no jurisdiction there. But yeah, these are all political classes of people in some way, shape, or form. Retired cops. When I left the military, I left, machine guns, hand grenades, and all the fun stuff behind. I don't know why retired cops are any special category of individuals. And I would wager to say that I have more training and put more rounds downrange than 99% of the cops do every year. Yet I don't fall into an exempt category. Not that I want to, but they also trick these guys up. And it's kind of interesting that they say that, if you have it outside, if you have a firearm outside your actual duty, you have to file for an affidavit and you have to have your little exemption noted on your FOID card or whatever. So, which begs the question, are they going to issue a whole new round of FOID cards?
So as you heard there, Todd says that a lot of the exemptions seem to provide ammunition of sorts, so to speak, no pun intended, to Tom DeVore's case in Effingham County, where he has filed again a motion to reconsider. And that motion to reconsider expected to be responded to by the state sometime in the next 30 days. And I think now it's down to like 25 days or so. But you've got the case in the state courts that DeVore says he can prove that equal protections are violated by exempting certain classes. Police, retired police, those in the private security sector, those who work at prisons as wardens or jailers and so on. So all these exempt classes, DeVore argues that they are similarly situated than the regular citizen who have Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So he lays out some of the rationale behind his claim that he can prove this in court because of the training that the state says was the rationale behind setting up these exempt classes.
When they argued training in our case, they lost. When they argued training in front of the Supreme Court, it was all conjecture. There was no baseline to say this is their training and this is why they are sitting in a superior position to the citizen. There is nothing. If you look at the actual records of law enforcement, I just don't have them in the case yet. Many overwhelming law enforcement officers have no training on these banned weapons whatsoever. They're trained in handguns and shotguns. The governor very cleverly, because again, Calkins was a fool, with all due respect, took him to the Supreme Court with all the conjecture. It's about training. It's not in the statute. It's not in the legislative minutes. But if you, again, they didn't want any discovery. You know how hard they're fighting our case in discovery because they know I'm going to prove, when it comes down to it, that the citizens of this state are similarly situated, regardless of whether you're a retired Navy SEAL, as some of the stuff you saw, or regardless of whether you even have conceal and carry training really is not relevant because you're dealing with banned weapons. Having training on a handgun for a 4-inch Glock 9mm, what's it got to do with an AR-15 platform? Nothing. That's why I've attached the affidavit from the FOIA request that Kirk Allen did. It's a critical piece of information that shows that the prison wardens, which is one exempt class, I could really stop with them. They don't have any training at all on these weapons. And if you read those records and you understand training of firearms like I do, I'm a certified training instructor. These folks that are getting this training in these handguns, these prison wardens, aren't even astute with weapons because they're slapping the trigger all the time, which means they don't even know what they're doing. They don't have any training, Greg. This whole training argument is a fiction, and I can prove it.
So again, DeVore laying out the rationale, he says, is going to prove that the training is a fiction because the law doesn't spell that out. It doesn't say, retired police who are able to keep these firearms and register with or just keep them and not have to register. The law doesn't spell out they need, 40 hours a year of training on semi-automatic rifles like an AR-15 or an AK-47. Same thing for police. DeVore notes that they're trained on handguns and shotguns, which the vast majority are not part of this particular ban. So I just wanted to bring those voices together to kind of give you a sense of where we're at in this overall conversation. A lot more is going to be said about all of this, especially with the rules that are going to go in front of the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules October 17th. So we'll see what kinds of conversations there are regarding how these are going to be implemented and really how it's going to be enforced down the line. So a lot more to be said about all of this. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and your WMAY dependable forecast. Today, the high of 80 with mostly sunny skies. Showers likely in the evening hours with a low down to 64. Thursday, we got a chance of showers with a high of 76. By Friday, a chance of showers and storms, the high of 81. Saturday, continued chance of storms with a high of 81. And Sunday, a 50% chance of showers, the high of 76. Right now, it's a little overcast skies. We're looking at about 62 degrees at 620 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Clock Tower Community Bank is everything you want in a community bank. Local people making local decisions for local success. With 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham, our experienced local bankers are here for you in every way, from opening a checking account to getting a loan. And because we're local, we share the commitment to the success and future of our community. Visit Clock Tower Community Bank today. Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club.
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Shoes, Brews, and Biz is back. The Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce's 5th annual Shoes, Brews, and Biz will be on Thursday, October 5th at the LRS hangar at 5 p.m. Shoes, Brews, and Biz will feature Springfield's favorite horseshoes and craft beers from local restaurants and breweries. Advance tickets are $20, and that will include samples of unique horseshoes and craft beers, along with the rare opportunity to tour the car and motorcycle collection owned by Dick Levi of Levi, Ray, and Shoup Incorporated. Call for tickets at 525-1173 or visit gscc.org. That's 525-1173 or gscc.org. The Chamber's Shoes, Brews, and Biz Thursday, October 5th at the LRS hangar by presenting sponsor Bank & Trust Company, premier sponsors Green Volkswagen Audi, Nob Hill Landscape Company, Springfield Clinic, and this station.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
It's officially here. This week only, enjoy 50% off your purchase during our Friends and Family event at Banana Republic Factory. Explore limited time savings on the latest elevated styles online or at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second-side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
One of the easiest things you can do to prevent getting stranded tomorrow is check your battery today. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery. If you can take about 5 minutes out of your day, we can make absolutely sure your car battery is ready before winter. Just pull into Rex, and we'll not only test the battery, but we'll make sure your alternator is doing its important job. Just because your car is running well now doesn't mean it's going to start when the temp drops. If you find your battery is near the end of its life, Rex Battery has car batteries for every make and model on the road. And more often than not, we have them for less than other places. Batteries are all we do, and we want to make sure yours is strong before winter hits. Just pull into Rex Battery anytime and ask for a free battery test. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
No cash bail in full effect in all 102 counties in Illinois, and that was Monday. Here we are Wednesday. How did at least the first day look across the entire state? Well, several reports we're going to review. We've got Chicago Sun-Times saying some downstate counties struggle as bail reform took hold this week. One didn't even try applying the new law. A lot of downstate prosecutors joined in an unsuccessful bid to try to overturn the law, but of course the Supreme Court 2 months ago upholding the law and putting a September 18th Monday date to implement this. So, for instance, in DuPage County, the Sun-Times reports that the state's second most populated judicial circuit had 22 pretrial defendants arrested from Sunday through early Monday, and they were brought. Of those, 14 faced domestic battery, a misdemeanor, or violation of a protection order in a domestic violence case. For other defendants, charges ranged from retail theft to aggravated driving with a suspended or revoked license. Monday's hearings lasted all day in DuPage County. Some of the hearings only lasted 15 minutes in the entire day of hearing all of these. Others that had contested hearings lasted about a half hour each. You had prosecutors seeking pre-trial detention for about 10 of the 22 defendants, and there the judge found safety or flight risk to ultimately hold those individuals. One of the defendants, a judge released, had been arrested for aggravated unlawful use of a weapon while on probation. The DuPage County State's attorney said that in one case, the law didn't allow them to for prosecutors to have a petition for detention. So this kind of spells out the process of how the Pretrial Fairness Act is going to be being implemented. Within 48 hours, if a prosecutor wants to detain somebody pre-trial, they have to bring evidence and actually make the argument in front of a judge. And that seems to be the case that's even here in Sangamon County. The Sun-Times reporting that there was a debate over whether the defendants who were already in custody should be processed under the new cashless system. That would have meant, the Sun-Times said, forgoing bond and instead setting conditions such as electronic monitoring for their pretrial release. A public defender in Sangamon County argued that people at Monday's hearings should have been released or had their bond amounts lowered because the charges were no longer detainable under the new law. But you have a judge denying a bond reduction for 3 people in Sangamon County. One person charged with retail theft had too many other pending charges, the judge found, in surrounding counties, and was deemed a willful flight risk. So another person charged with aggravated battery was also detained or denied bond reduction due to outstanding battery and domestic battery cases. So again, you can see how they're taking into account other situations that these criminal defendants may have found themselves in. And then you also have other reporting about, hey, there's murder suspects that are being detained in counties across the state. Even detention for people who are found to have violated firearms orders or those who have violated orders of protection and domestic violence cases. So again, how this is being implemented across the state, interesting to see. But in Chicago, you have the police union not too happy with how prosecutors are moving forward with certain cases up there. The police union president, John Catanzara, raising concerns, especially because one incident had a individual, 21-year-old woman, attack several police officers before the end of cash bail. And this was in the middle of the road. Apparently, the story goes that she wanted to use the bathroom inside the police station with her child, couldn't, and then blocked the road in protest and assaulted several police officers. But on Monday, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox, she dismissed 3 felony charges against that particular individual. John Catanzara, the union president for the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 7, he says that, once again, it's another reason why he says that Kim Fox needs to be gone.
I certainly hope there's a strong statement coming from Superintendent Waller in the very near future here. This kind of ridiculous behavior cannot be tolerated.
He says that he can't think of any reason why Fox would let this particular woman free after assaulting police officers.
You can't make this up. No rhyme or reason, no explanation, not even a courtesy call to the officers letting them know that the charges were going to be dismissed.
He says Fox is failing at her job to hold people accountable, even alleged criminals.
Earlier this morning, the good old state's attorney's at it again. Yet another reason why she can't be gone soon enough. And we have to have the right person in that position.
So Fox not running for re-election. We'll see how that goes up in Chicago and Cook County. But another case, a separate case, Monday, with the end of money bond, another migrant was let go from jail after allegedly assaulting police during Mexican Independence Day celebrations this past weekend. You have the Illinois Senate Minority Leader, John Curran, putting out this statement. Reports on the very first day of no cash bail, a violent offender arrested for attacking 4 Chicago police officers, sending 2 of them to the hospital, was immediately released because the Cook County State's Attorney's Office didn't even bother to file a motion to seek a detaining order for the accused, and that's problematic. So, again, to this process, prosecutors have to file for a request to detain somebody, and apparently in this case, the Cook County State's Attorney didn't even bother to file a motion to seek detaining the accused. Curran goes on to say this highlights the misplaced priorities of Illinois' criminal justice system when the prosecutor prioritizes the freedom of a violent offender over the safety of those police officers dedicated to protecting and serving our communities. Is there any wonder why police recruitment is at an all-time low in this state? So again, the Senate Minority Leader John Curran putting out that statement yesterday. Catanzaro said that his officers deserve better and believes the charges should be brought and people should be detained, who especially are assaulting police officers. So we'll monitor where this goes. Of course, we're only 3 days into the end of cash bail in Illinois, but clearly something that's still very contentious in the grand scheme of the state's criminal justice system. All right, it is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Coming back, the Illinois Supreme Court heard a fascinating case yesterday about the firearm owner identification card and the Freedom of Information Act. So we'll get to that next here. At 6:33 from Culver's West on Wabash, let's check some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Republican presidential hopeful Tim Scott told an Iowa voter Monday after a question about the United Auto Workers strike that he admired Ronald Reagan's example. You strike, you're fired. Simple concept to me, Scott said, referring to Reagan's firing of federally employed air traffic controllers in 1981. Firing workers taking part in a lawful strike is illegal, and a spokesman for the South Carolina senator later walked back his remarks, claiming that Scott was talking about federal workers when he made the comment. This summer's drought has left the Mississippi River so low that barge companies are reducing their loads just as Midwest farmers are preparing to send their harvest downriver to the Gulf of Mexico. After reduced production due to dry fields, farmers face higher prices to transport what remains of their crops. The cargo rate from St. Louis southward is now up 77% above the 3-year average. About 60% of U.S. grain exports are taken by barge down the Mississippi River. There's one fewer employee in Illinois today as a man won $2 million from a scratch-off ticket bought in Morris. The 66-year-old Illinois man, who wishes to remain anonymous, bought the ticket at a gas station, and when he realized he'd won, placed his first phone call to his boss, announcing his retirement effective immediately. He told reporters he plans to buy a new RV with part of the money. Anyone interested in learning how to turn wood on a lathe will have a chance Thursday afternoon at 6 o'clock. That's when the Frank and Linda Valla Dream Center of Sangamon County will host a free learning event at its campus located at 1480 North 5th Street in Springfield. Participants will learn how to turn a wooden bowl on a lathe in this event sponsored by the Land of Lincoln Wood Turners. A finished bowl will be given as a door prize. More information can be found at WMAY.com. A special delivery of space dust will land in the Utah desert next week. A probe called OSIRIS-REx left Earth in 2016 and landed on an asteroid called Bennu in 2020. It collected a sample from the surface and will enter Earth's atmosphere on September 24th after a 3-year journey home. Scientists expect to retrieve 1 or 2 pounds of material, which they believe will yield clues about the composition of the solar system billions of years ago. Breeze Airways announced yesterday that it will begin service from Springfield to Tampa and Orlando. The twice-weekly service begins December 1st with an introductory fare of $49 each way for tickets bought on or before September 25th. The Illinois Department of Human Services has just received $10 million in federal funding to support independent living and professional development for students with disabilities aged 10 to 24. The money comes through the U.S. Department of Education's Disability Innovation Fund, which supports state and local agencies as well as federally funded centers for independent living. Your WMAY dependable forecast is next on Springfield's News and Talk.
This Father's Day, find the perfect gift for the dad who loves the perfect yard. From steel chainsaws and blowers to trimmers and edgers, you'll find gas-powered tools that Dad is sure to love. Visit your local steel dealer and save $30 on the FS56 RCE trimmer. Real steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Offer valid for a limited time at participating dealers while supplies last.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club.
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Now, your dependable forecast on 92.7 WMAY.
Overcast today with highs around 80. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered rain showers likely. Lows level off around 64. Scattered thunderstorms likely. Tomorrow, high of 76. Cloudy. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. Friday, with a chance for scattered rain showers. Saturday, highs in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 61.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Don't miss the Style of Hope fashion show benefiting the communities of Hope. Thursday, September 21st at the BOS Center in downtown Springfield. Doors open at 6 p.m. The runway lights up at 7:30. Featuring local boutiques and models, Children of Hope walk the runway. Pop-up stores will be available, live and silent auctions, high-end hors d'oeuvres, and entertainment galore. Come hear inspiring stories and be moved by Hope's impactful mission. For more info, search the Style of Hope on Facebook or visit hope.us/Style of Hope to purchase your ticket today.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday afternoon at 4:30 and 6:30. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Get 11% off your appliance upgrade now at Menards. We offer the lowest prices with the largest in-stock appliance selection. Ready to take home today. New appliances from Menards are meant to make your life easier. Upgrade your home with top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. Upgrade your home with new energy-efficient appliances and save 11%. Good through September 24th. Savings are mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
If your computer screen is showing some unusual stuff, it could be the result of all of those downloads, Zoom meetings, spreadsheets, or just all of those system updates. It may be time for some badly needed repairs. With a flat labor fee and in-stock parts included, repairing your computers is easy at BLH Computers. Check out BLH Computers in Taylorville, Jacksonville, also in Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. Authorities have been threatening to do this for a while, but now it's official. The threat of over-tourism has prompted city officials in Venice to implement a €5 fee to enter the city next year to visitors who are not planning to stay the night. The fee will apply to all travelers over the age of 14. The Venetians are trying to discourage the massive number of day trippers to the city. So if you don't have a hotel reservation that you can show officials, be prepared to pay. Of course, this doesn't apply to other day trippers like cruise ship passengers who technically already have their own floating hotel. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months? Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credits.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The Illinois Supreme Court hearing cases this week, and yesterday they had 4 of them. Several were rather fascinating. One dealt with whether or not somebody who was found with cannabis when it was medicinally legal should have had that evidence thrown out. Another dealing with a bicyclist in Chicago that got hurt after hitting a pothole, and whether or not the city should be held liable for that. So we'll have to unpack that case here in the future. But another case that was heard yesterday talks about the intersection between the Freedom of Information Act and the firearm owner identification card, and whether somebody who is denied or had their FOID card revoked can get access to the internal state police documentation about the reason for that particular denial or revocation of a FOID card. So Freedom of Information, it's a law that allows for the public to get access to public information held by the government. The government works for you, the taxpayer, and therefore those are your documents. That's really the spirit behind the Freedom of Information Act. But what about those who get their FOID card revoked or suspended? What kinds of information do they have access to? That was the crux of the arguments brought in front of a Illinois Supreme Court hearing yesterday. And just go ahead and dive into this because there's a lot here. Here is the Illinois State Police Attorney laying out really the background of the case and their arguments as to why they should deny this particular case for the plaintiffs.